you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
What a show do we have for you all here tonight. Happy Pride, everybody. My name is Robert Wow. Look, it doesn't even matter what disheveled mess I look like tonight because all eyes will be on our guests, Robbie Rozelle and George Salazar, and also the creators and the people behind the Stroll. I got my Pride United shirt on, and I'm excited to be here with you all today. Happy Pride as we continue this week, and next week will be our last Pride shows of this year, and I'm so excited to be here. And Robbie is here. Hi, Darius. It is an exciting show for sure. Latte says to be nice. It is Latte's birthday on Thursday. We will be sending you lots of happy birthday to you. And we're here for a big old extravaganza of a show. Should we get started? Is everyone doing okay? Are you all right? Oh, the world is okay? We're all hanging in there? Hang in there. Hang in there. Here's my weekend review. Oh, and it's a fun one. So my weekend review, well, we had a fun week. It was a good week. We have been, being a part of the Tribeca Film Festival, and I was on the red carpet. And the first week of July will be a Tribeca Film Festival recap. And yes, so listen to this story. Robbie Rozelle is going to love the story. So there's a red carpet for a hip hop documentary called Dele Soul, which is about Latin. This is not the part Robbie Rozelle is going to care about Latin hip hop's influence on the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So we get called because when you think of Latin hip hop, you think of Robert Bannon and the Roundtable, obviously. So we get called to do it. So it's me and Adrian, who also, when you think of hip hop, you think of me, and then you instantly think of my cousin Adrian because we are, yes. So we're on the red carpet. And the red carpet before that was for Patricia Field's documentary, the costume designer from Sex and the City. And she brings Kim Cattrall. So there's Kim Cattrall, there's Patricia Field, and Patricia Field looks like, nope, I'm being nice, but she's a legend. Great. So we're standing there and we're like, oh, look at this. This is so fun. Kim Cattrall won't speak to the press. She walks right through. She takes her pictures and leaves. Patricia Fields is there with her platforms and her red hair and living her best life. And so what ends up happening is I'm standing on the street waiting to go in for the next event, and Orfeh walks by. And she goes, hey. And I say, hey, Orfeh, Grammy, Tony-nominated Broadway diva superstar. And she's in her leather jacket and her makeup and everything's done. And she goes, can you get me on this red carpet? I'm going to this movie. And I said, you should go on this red carpet. You're Orfeh. You should go for it. So she's like, but I have a friend with me. And then I say to my cousin Adrian, she thinks I'm going to help. I'm barely able to get on this carpet to interview people. So she comes back and she's like, I redid my lipstick. I'm ready. So I'm like, go, go right on there. Go tell them you're Orfeh and walk right on that carpet. Well, sure as ish. Orfeh came out there. Yes. Publicist. I'm a publicist now. Pay me. Get her right on that carpet. So funny. I looked, me? You think I'm going to get you on this carpet? I don't know why I'm here. I still don't know why I'm here. But we had a lot of fun. We, the Roots were there. Nina Dobrev, who I did not know was such a big deal. She's from Vampire Diaries. Nina Dobrev is Nina Dobrev. 28 million followers stopped by to talk to us. So look for this the first week of July. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I did get to speak to Wilson Cruz. So if you're a My So-Called Life fan or a Trekkie fan or a gay fan, Wilson Cruz and all of that is to come. I sang at Boot and Pride. Thank you so much for having me at Boot and Pride. This is Mike Stracco, who runs the Wyckoff Pride, and this is Mr. Gay USA, Mr. Gay World, Mr. Gay America, Mr. Gay. I don't know, but it was very lovely to meet them. Thank you for having me. I performed a mini set, and this is Lauren Moran, who runs Boot and Pride. So I want to say thank you for having me. I look forward to working with them again in the future. It was a pleasure, and what a great community. And they had the community speak, and that was what I really enjoyed about it, was that the community members that are part of the community got up and talked about it. Hi, Christine. Thank you all. I know, we're all here. Gang's all here. So, I was excited to be there for all of that as well. My little Sam graduated, so congratulations to the little monster for graduating kindergarten. Look at him. He wants to be a teacher because he said Robert's a teacher. And I told him, no, do anything other than that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so proud of him. He's come a long way and he's the cutest. And then we had Father's Day, right? We all celebrated Greg. There we were. We went to dinner. We went to have a big old Greg's extravaganza together and we celebrated. So happy Father's Day to my dad. I have a song about a dad in case you haven't heard it. I've become a little bit known for. So it's so funny to start seeing people post it and get messages for I think he knew and people's reactions to it. Y'all turned Greg into a monster. He's like a diva. He's a diva superstar now. So oh, thank you. I appreciate you. We will be doing 2 openers. Tomorrow I'll be at the opening of Rock and Roll Man with Constantine Maroulis and Joe Pantoliano, Emmy winner for The Sopranos, star of The Matrix, etc. And then we will be at the Once Upon a One More Time opening on Thursday. Speaking of, to conclude my weekend review, you know, I did go to see the show the other day. And so we were sitting there. And look, it's all set up outside. You could take your pictures. Darius says I have wrinkled shorts, which I do. And then I need a man to iron them. And we had a moment and Adrian came with me and we had a moment and we were celebrating our friend Aisha Jackson. Aisha Jackson sings her teeth out and she's Snow White. And we were celebrating our friend Justin Guarini, Prince Charming, and he sings and dances his teeth out. And then it's intermission and I have like the most terrible bathroom anxiety where I have to like run to the bathroom every intermission because I don't want to get stuck in the second act and have to go. So I get up and Adrian bolts out. And I turn to my left and I'm walking past this loud group and they're cheering and they're yelling and they're so excited to be a part of the show. And I hear a voice next to us and I'm like, is that Gloria Estefan? And it was Gloria Estefan or Estefan, which if you know anything about my dad, he's like the biggest Gloria Estefan. We've seen her when I was 12. We saw her when I was 14. We saw her a couple of years ago. We had to see her show a million times. We went to Miami on vacation just to eat at her restaurant. We had to take the Celebrity Star boat tour so that we could see her house on Star Island. Greg is a fan. So she turns around and she looks at me because I'm passing her and I just say, I love you. And she says, oh, thank you. Thank you. And I said, my dad, we grew up with you. We love you. The rhythm's going to get you. And she said, oh, honey, it got me years ago. It sure did. And I was like, I love you, Gloria. And she says, why don't we take a picture? And I say, no, I don't want to bother you. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to bother you. So she goes, no, give my son the camera. So I give the son-in-law the camera and he takes a bunch of pictures. Look at us. Where's me and Gloria? Oh, but still my heart. Music of my heart. So anyway, so the long and short of this story, because this has gone on for way too long, is that then I took the picture and then everyone she said hello to everybody, whatever. What was most fun was when after the show, we followed her out because to see people's reactions to her, especially like the older Spanish women that were in the show, funniest shit ever. The best time because they were screaming. It was like more than the Pope being there. Take a peek at me trying to be sly as I film this. Okay. The curtain call, right? I pan to the right, and then it looks like I'm not just trying to stop. And then as it pans to the left, there's Gloria, there's her grandson, there's Adrian. Adrian, grandson, Gloria. New York City, you never know what you're going to see at a Broadway show. So we'll be there. We will be on the red carpet. It was a good time. If you're somebody who likes Britney and you like a pop jukebox musical, it's not for everyone, but it's for somebody, and it's a good time, and they have come to party. Check out the show. We'll be at the opening on Thursday night with Gloria Estefan. So we'll have more info for you as we get there. I don't have a shameless plug, and I don't have a hey friend hey because I have a real life friend, but I do want to let you know we do have a bonus this week. The bonus is Kevin T. Norman, who is a book talker, an author, and an influencer. He runs an LGBT book club, and he was here, and we'll have that up for you. And Brian Ruby, who was on last year, who's an activist. He's an out baseball player and out country singer. Pride multi hyphenates as the Roundtable talks this week up on Thursday night. There you go. I think Greg is a diva. Yes, I guess so. And Gloria is my new best friend. I had to move away because I was getting into the territory of being crazy. Speaking of divas, you have no idea, everyone, the demands that go into having Robbie Rozelle here. He just taught me something. He just taught me he's a man of so many. He has got a cavalcade of stars that he directs and bosses around. And I'm lucky. Look at this. I'm lucky enough to be one of them. And he is running A&R at Broadway Records, doing everything, playing the cello, doing the PR, mailing the CDs, answering the receptionist phone call. He's the recording engineer. He does everything at Broadway Records. And he so happens to be a cabaret superstar. And he's also my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Robbie Rozelle.
I look like I'm about to eat you.
No, you did.
Look. It's a little creepy. Hi, thanks for having me.
I've been doing this show through the whole damn pandemic, and I had no idea.
Well, you got to show that brick with like one milk stain running down it, or whatever that is. Milk.
That is That is the shadiest shit.
Not I.
The applause is here. There's something about Mary milk stain. It's not like that in my house. Maybe it's in your house, Robbie, because before we get to your show, I just, my favorite story about you, if you don't mind.
There's too many. Go ahead.
But what I really love about you and everything about you is that you are the quintessential, like, you've dreamed something, you manifested something, you took a leap, and you're in New York City, and you're doing a job that you could have dreamed to do. When you were in Pennsylvania, working at a bookstore, could you have ever imagined you headlining Birdland for the third time?
Nope. Surely would not. Listen, I didn't think I'd be doing this once. So the fact that it keeps happening, 6 years, we're coming up on, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, I gave you a riff. I'm sorry. What a giver. This was never supposed to happen. No, this was supposed to happen. And that was only supposed to be one time. And we're at the anniversary of like the first time I did anything 6 years ago when I sold out 54 Below. And we just keep doing it, and meeting incredible people and making new friends and working with great people like you.
I'm so grateful. This is not about me, but he has gotten me a band. He when I met him, he told me he was going to get me my people, and he's gotten my people, and I have the most fun creating with you because you really listen and you really let your artists be who they are, and you just try to make us look the best we can. So what is it like when you go from being the director of other people's shows to then being the director of your own?
Oh, that's a fascinating question. It's, I think, similar because like I sort of get out of the way of you and just push you or whoever I'm working with to just be their authentic self, right? I'm not interested in what an audience expects as much as I am interested in letting somebody truly being like the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit for somebody to play in. Gross. Purell. But you know what I mean by that. Like I saw you, you were very talented, but I knew there was somebody in you that you were like shielding. And so it's that same thing. Like for me, I have a very clear vision of exactly what I'm doing. And I just write the show and do it. Interestingly, I don't ever tell my band any patter. They never hear anything I'm going to say until they hear it on stage. And you've witnessed what that can do.
Oh yes. Not only your people come to see a Robbie
Sure.
Rozelle show to hear the music, to hear the songs, but to hear what stories you're going to tell, what your life has been up to, and all the things. So Yaz, your music director, and
You mean your music director?
no, he is mine. Well, yes, and we have that video, and it's coming out. I'm
Yeah.
putting it up this week. We may show it at the end of this show. So our music director that I stole from Robbie, you crack him up. You kill him,
Mhm.
and you come up with. I like to say, and this is not to diminish your or my show. I have a trashy, fun show. Robbie comes with sings like songs that are musical royalty, giant Broadway musical theater extravaganza. You
It's
have
true.
cellos and strings and you have a situation.
I have a band. My band's called the Two Drink Minimum. And that was a dumb joke. Everything was born out of dumb jokes. And that's like the best, right? Because like truly, if I promise nothing but stupidity, I'm gonna deliver it in spades.
Well,
And so I built my band, the Two Drink Minimum, out of a dumb joke that was like, if I ever did one of these, I'd call my band the Two Drink Minimum. Wink. And I did. And it's, yeah, 6 pieces, it's incredible. And great guests. I'm
gra-
very excited.
well, Christine says go get your tickets Birdland June 22nd if you're in the New York
You
area.
should.
Latte says that there's enough Yaz for both of us. There's enough Yaz for both of us. If you want to get those tickets, go to birdlandjazz.com. I have my tickets and I will be there. I told you the cheese plate is where it's at with me.
Wait, why are you not bringing your cousin? Was she hating?
No, she's coming with me.
Oh, she's who's coming?
Yes.
Good.
Me and
She hasn't
Adrian.
experienced this.
No, I love a Robbie Rozelle virgin out there.
A reveal.
The reveal of what this show is. So who's joining you? Because this list, well,
I know. So I'm being joined by Mauricio Martinez, who you've seen before, wildly
yes.
handsome. Have you had him on the show? You should have him on the show.
We had him on the show when he surprised you when we played Robbie Rozelle. This is your
Right.
life. But
Wait, am I the guest who's been on this thing the most? That's
Yes.
weird. I'm not famous.
Yeah, I disagree. You've played
Same.
London?
Sure.
You've played
listen, anyway.
Pittsburgh?
That's you. I think you're confusing us again.
I'll play anywhere.
I'm just hanging out at a Wawa and like
That's me.
anybody? A Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
The great debate. Anyway, so Mauricio Martinez, I was supposed to have Ari Axelrod, who's a magnificent singer, join me. Unfortunately, because of scheduling, he's not able to. But my friend Jordan Matthew Brown, who is in the Book of Mormon for a long time, is replacing him, and that's thrilling. And then there's a woman, you might have heard of her, Liz Calloway, the voice of Anastasia, asked if she could I would help her.
I heard she begged. I heard that she begged.
She sent me a text and she was like, can I do one of your shows? And I was like, do you know who you are? And do you know who I am? So, yeah, I mean, but it's fun. And we had a rehearsal yesterday. Our first rehearsal was yesterday, and it was incredible. Like, just there she was. And there she was singing maybe one of her hits, maybe a few of her hits.
Follow Robbie to stay on top of things.
Mm-hmm.
No, Robbie, don't even tease me, because if you put together some Liz Calloway mashup I'm not going to say anything. I don't know.
Do you think I maybe Barry Manilow'd Liz Calloway? It's possible. Now, Robert, what does that mean that I Barry Manilow'd Liz Calloway?
Well, when I did my show called Rewind, Robbie insisted that I do a medley of 10 Barry Manilow songs and then follow those 10 songs up with another Barry Manilow song.
And now, here's the thing, friends.
He insisted.
watchers, readers. Um, I didn't insist that he sing a 10-song medley. Robert Bannon has a disease called Manaloitis and said, I would like to lift this medley that he did in the 80s somewhere and just do it. And I said, yeah, that sounds correct. And so we did with slides.
Oh,
There were
yes.
slides.
We
The
lifted
slides were
the
good.
whole medley, and
Whole thing.
Robbie is like
But
the
then
king.
I said, I want this song. And it was called the best song in your set.
It was called the best song in the set.
I know
And,
what I'm
you
doing.
know, you get rave reviews for your shows. And I know that I have a very love-hate relationship with people writing about my shows. What are you someone who the next day you are so sweet, and when it's a good review, you send it to all the people you work with, and you post, and you're the most
Sure.
supportive person. Anyone who puts out an album, a show, a song, Robbie Rozelle at Diva Robbie you're gonna get shouted out. You're so good about it. What about when it comes to you?
Ah, um, so I'm actually talking about this in the show. The show's called Bring Me Giants, and it's truly about how everything is scary, right? Look at that stupid face.
Beautiful Stephen
Um,
Moser picture.
Stephen Mosher did take that, but everything is scary all the time. And there's a quote from Cyrano that's like, "Bring me giants. Like if I'm gonna fight something, I don't want to fight with like the barista. Bring me giants." And so one of those things that's like, I listen, I'm very much like black licorice. You love me or you can't stand me. And there's no in between. And that's okay. Like I made peace with that years ago. But I also believe that like if you read reviews, uh if you believe them, you believe the good ones and you believe the bad ones, right? And I read them because hopefully if they're well written, um and the writer did more than just, pan or love, whatever, that there's something to glean from it and learn. And I'm like, I'm still growing, you're still growing, all of us are still growing, and there's more that we can take on. Amazing. Um, that being said, I have gotten reviews that have called, in the past, have called me disastrous or a gifted amateur singer. Now, you and I just did a show 2 weeks ago, and that same reviewer said, you know what? He stepped it up. And in the past, I did this, and sort of ate crow, not ate crow. Listen, he met me where I was at the time, which is okay. But yeah, I do read reviews. Is the very long-winded.
No, please. So when you're working on putting the show together, what do you do?
Mhm.
What's the process to build a set list? Do you keep notes in your phone? Do you listen to lots of music? Do you have the next show already started? I mean, I know you're a tinkerer. You like to
Yeah. The first thing I do, like once I know sort of what I want to talk about, because I'm not interested in like current life story. Like nobody wants to see the show that's like, I was going to be an actress, so I moved to New York City and my boyfriend broke up with me. Here's a song about my cat. I don't like those shows, are terrible. And those shows play 7 times a week across Manhattan. And so I can't do it. I can't stomach it. But I come from a very organic place of these are some of the stories I want to tell, and sort of here's the undercurrent that's going to run through it, right? And then I start, this very well. Then I start what's called the vomit list, which is a Google Doc with just me vomiting songs. And as you look through them, you find 12 or 15, whatever, that like jump out at you, like that one gif of like all the math happening in front of the lady where she's like this. But it tells you this is what it is. And that's what I do. So I start a Google Doc, and because I'm very efficient, I gather all the sheet music. I send everything to Yaz in a Dropbox with the Google Doc and a Spotify playlist, and he goes to town.
You really taught me. Robbie you're a master storyteller. Master storyteller. And I think that what you taught me, at least, and what everyone that works with you or comes to see you as the dogs bark in this unprofessional basement, is
Wow.
that is that we don't want to, I don't want to tell I was born on Halloween and then we don't, that's not, and then I'm going to sing all that jazz and take out sequin hat. So
I truly have seen so many cabarets that start with the song Cabaret, sometimes sung by 18-year-olds. What do you know?
right.
You have to sing a lived experience in some way. And storytelling, I think, is more important than write notes. Uh, it's nice when they collide.
So what is your so tell me, walk me through the day. I don't know this because I'm not with you when you do a show. What is
Mhm.
it like the day of the show? What is your routine? Are you superstitious? What do you do after the show? Tell me.
Oh, I'm not superstitious. No. I will probably. I'm so sorry. I just saw a comment that said that Manaloo is a food group for you, and you're not wrong. That's really good. I mean, I wake up, I go to work often because I do have a day job. Um, I have my steamer that I might use. Uh, I go to sound check. It depends on what time the sound check is. For this show, the sound check's at 6, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll take a half day. I'll go shave, shower,
Did you find
press
any?
my suit. No. So Robert and I, we text a lot, and we find that the two hardest parts about doing these shows is not doing the show. It's not even putting together the show. It's finding what you're going to wear and selling tickets to the show. And the constant, hi, please love me. Will you love me? Please come to my show of it all. It's a nightmare, right? The selling of yourself, especially because I don't like to talk about me. I mean, this whole interview about me that I keep turning to you because I'm not interested in me. I'm interested in other people.
I
I just,
understand.
yeah, the sell is too much.
And I know that, and that's why you've become very. I don't know. I'm assuming this is your only appearance in this area this year. Like this is your
That's
one
true.
shot.
Yeah.
There's music playing now. It's like Robbie shows up on screen and music is just playing. This
Do you have,
is
is it the Phantom?
n-
You are in a basement.
I am in the basement. No, it's you are only appearance, so you need to see it. But it is very exhausting to put on a show. It's costly to put on a
Mm-hmm.
show. It is an emotional roller coaster, and
Mm-hmm.
you are. So this is your chance. This is the chance to see Robbie's show. Was that a conscious decision? Because the selling is the hard part.
Yeah, I think for me, because again, I am black licorice. Uh, you don't want too much of it. You know what I mean? There are people who can do it weekly, and you're thrilled to see them week after week, and then there are people who I think me, um, every so often, like caviar is a nice thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, it was so funny. Robbie recommended to me, and I love to get someone to help me with social media and help assist with
Mm.
some of the stuff. And so I had a meeting with her, and she said to me, "Why don't you do like go somewhere and have a weekly residency and you sing somewhere every week?" And I said, "I would rather die because the
I know.
idea of trying to grab people on a weekly basis to come in and see me is terrifying. It is
I've
the
done it. Nightmare.
hard, very hard. That's why you need to
Mhm.
go right now to birdlandjazz.com and get your tickets so then Robbie can sell it out and we can be done. That's the goal. Be done. Be done. Look
That
there.
was me.
Right
I
there.
this idiot.
Liz
This one
Calloway.
right here.
Liz
I
Calloway,
mean, it's funny.
she sells out everywhere by herself.
I know. And she was willing to come to the basement of Birdland to sing with me. I mean,
But to be honest, Robbie, you
yeah.
don't know this. He's a graphic designer. He's a website designer. He is an A&R director. He is in the
Hmm.
studio. When you listen to the Camelot CD right now, that's out with the brand new
Hmm.
cast. Robbie's in the studio making sure that all happens. Robbie has shows that he's directing for other people the week of his show.
The 2 days prior, I was working with Alexis. It's Alexis Michelle from Drag Race, and we were working on her script today. Yeah, I do things. I'm working on Robert's re-releasing Robert's first album, which is supposed to be this week. Yay! Um, and also like producing his live album. Yay! And Robert and I also want to start performing
Arnold?
together. Did you watch? Did watchers of this? Did you see us together? Did you have a good time?
I have the
Tell
video.
us in the
I'm
comments.
gonna show it at the end. And some of the people watching were there. Lattes, Christine, Darius, they all watched it.
Hmm.
And we had a moment, and for the record, that moment is completely improvised.
I just walked on stage. I mean, I gave you a joke, you
Mhm.
twisted the joke, and then we were off.
And that's
But
what we do.
but I also think we sounded good together.
Yes, really
Not
good.
everybody blends well together, and
No.
I don't blend.
And
I'm
Rob is like a really good rehearser who has like a rehearsal a week for 8 weeks, and I
mhm.
have an 8-minute rehearsal once. I don't rehearse. He taught me to take it more seriously and to have rehearsal. And I'm like, give me a microphone and like a piano player and we'll make a show. So we compromised and we rehearsed it a couple of times, like twice.
Sure.
And we were ready and roaring to go. Latte says it was epic. It was an epic.
Come on.
We're going to show, I'm going to
So,
show it at the end.
but we want to do a show together called Double Trouble. That's just like us
Why am I,
being
right.
authentic.
Why can't
That's all.
we be in Puerto Vallarta at some gay drag bar doing art, singing the medley of Liz Calloway hits?
Gaze. I'm looking at you right now. Gaze. I know I'm no longer a twink, but I would like to go and sing in Mexico with the gays and Palm Springs.
What?
Why are we not in Palm Springs?
Lattes is going to Palm Springs tomorrow to see Jay Rodriguez's show on Thursday, which I'm happy Jay needs a show. I'm happy he's got a
Yeah,
show.
great.
Jay has a show in Palm Springs.
Yeah, why are we not? Come
Why
on.
don't we have a show in Palm
What?
Springs?
Great
Christine
question.
says that your show is a great way to support you and the arts and a fun night
Correct.
in the Pride Month, June 29th in Birdland. Christine, publicist, star, done.
Good. Locked and loaded. Let's do it.
Locked and loaded. If we did a show together, it would be like the Billy Joel and Elton John, show.
Without pianos or
Or
all the talent.
none of that. I am so I could talk to Robbie for 5 hours.
Shade.
We haven't even, and I was gonna say we could even be more shady, but we are
Oh yeah.
because Robbie thinks that I'm the one that likes to talk shop and get the scoop and the gossip and like to talk crap about people. That is not the truth at all.
I don't talk crap about literally anybody, so
And I do. And
I keep seeing right behind me right here is a commemorative plate from the film of Annie, and it's just Miss Hannigan laying on her like boudoir thing, and it's just over my shoulder, and I just noticed it.
where did you get it?
It was a Christmas gift one year, but they made them like when the film came out, and it's a formative film, so.
It is.
Oh my God, it's so gay.
It's very formative. Very formative.
I feel like I should have made a whole roast beef sandwich and eaten it on air, like Barry Bostwick.
We've had people. I was going to say Barry Bostwick.
I know.
Robbie came up with the name for this, and I met Robbie. I have to give you credit for a couple of things before I let you go
Okay.
and talk about you one more time. He reached out and I'm not kidding. The people that Robbie directs shows for are some of the best cabaret you will see in New York City. So to be able to use you as a director and for you to find time in your schedule to be a part of my mess is incredibly, very grateful. I'm very grateful. Secondly, I have dealt with record people in the past that have been a nightmare. They've made me $1.41. They have not promoted my work that they were paid for. Robbie came to the rescue and saved my music. I'm able to be like the Taylor Swift of cabaret and put out my own version of my album because of him. And lastly, he's an incredible artist and performer. He is a formidable musical theater, Trivial Pursuit, full-blown fanatic. And I did call him an elder gay on stage. he has been there for me personally as well. I am so grateful to have you as my friend, more so than all of the business and all the music and all of the tickets and all of that.
Yeah, cabaret's an expensive hobby, so if we're not forming friendships at the same
No.
time, what are we doing it
If
for?
you were a DPW worker in Bayonne, New Jersey, I would still be your friend, Robbie.
I don't know what that means.
No one does.
Is that like a trash dude?
Yeah,
Department of sure.
how it
Great.
works. Look at this
Okay.
one right here.
Bring me Giants.
June 29th, Bring Me Giants, which is totally different than the one than the video on Pornhub called Bring Me Giants. Very different.
Whoa. Yeah, don't Google that. Mom.
June 29th at 8:30 at Birdland. You can get your tickets. Go to birdlandjazz.com. Liz Calloway, Mauricio Martinez. You, a band,
Me.
my music.
Oh, and Wes's wife, Allison.
Wes's wife, Allison.
Wes is our bass player.
Wes
My
is
bass
my bass
player.
player, and Yaz is my music director, and I'm loaning them to Robbie for this appearance.
So kind. Thank you. I went alms for the poor, and you said I have a music director.
That I took from you. I'm going to be there, and I am so ready and excited for every second of it. And we'll be posting and sharing and getting all of the people there, because it's a not to be missed event. It's a perfect way to end Pride. And I'm going to be at a event too, because my cousin Adrienne made me buy tickets because she loves her and is a big Drag Race fan. And I said, fine, I will go with you.
Wait, what night are you there?
Whatever night you're going to be there.
I'm there both nights.
Oh, then.
Because I wrote it.
You say? Tell me which night to be, and I'll be there.
I will.
All right. I love you. Thank you for being here.
I love you.
And go get
Thank you for having me. Yay, George Salazar.
George Salazar is up next. We might as well just hit play and let's talk to George Salazar. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Bye.
George Salazar's here. Robbie Rozelle, get your tickets. Well, as we celebrate Pride and we celebrate creators that create literally the art that I think we've all sung a few of his songs and karaoke's and cabarets and bathrooms. George Salazar is here, and I'm so excited because his career has been is something really special, and I can't wait to hear about the whole entire journey. George, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me, Robert.
I'm so excited to have you. I have seen your work. I have heard the legend of the cabaret shows that you have put on and the work that you put out. And I'm from Jersey, so I know that Jersey holds a little special place in your heart because things went crazy in New Jersey for you. But before we get to that, you're from Florida and you started wanting to perform at a pretty young age. You kind of knew. When did you know I want to be an artist?
It was actually like my junior year of high school. I was late to like the theater scene. I come from a half Filipino, half Ecuadorian immigrant family. And my mother is now retired, but she was a nurse for many, many years. And so I grew up kind of, visiting her at work and spending time with her patients. And I knew very early on that I wanted to be like a doctor. So I was like really good in school and was like on track. And then, I like to say that my life and my career is just like a series of left turns. Mm-hmm. And so I got... I was always a class clown, and I was a nerd and like a huge Weird Al fan. Yeah. And so I would write parody songs to pop songs, and they were always like not safe for school. And I got in trouble a couple times, but this one day I wrote one called "Hit Me Baby One More Time." I didn't have to change the title. And I was singing it in our information technology for a global society class. I was an overachiever. I was in the IB program in high school. And I was singing it to my friends. And the vice president of the drama club heard me singing. And, when I think about that moment, it feels very like 1920s, 1930s, like vaudeville talent scout, finds someone on the street and says, I'm gonna make you into a star, kid. And so he was so persistent that I come and I auditioned for this musical called Little Shop of Horrors, and I had no interest in spending my after school valuable time in a dark theater, like singing and auditioning. And I've never done any of this before in my life. And, I kind of eye rolled to musicals. We didn't grow up, again, immigrant family. We didn't grow up with the classics. So I had no concept. But he, like every other class period, he would like find me in the halls and he would like, like push me and push and push. So finally I was like, oh my God, fine. So I went in and I auditioned and I got cast as Seymour in that production. And it was like, I did this one at PST Playhouse with the great Michaela J. Rodriguez. Hey, wow. And what was so wild about our production was that it was a predominantly, POC cast. My Audrey was Black. Her father was a minister. She grew up singing in the church. And we did this production of Little Shop that, it's just so funny that like all those years later, I would end up doing another production of Little Shop with the same kind of, intention and mission to like, find a new way to tell this story that we all know and love, so much. And so that was the start of it. I then went to school for musical theater in Florida. And as soon as I graduated, I got out of there. And I try not to go. My folks still live there, so I try to go back to visit, but I can only spend like a week at a time in Florida.
I completely understand. And that's a fascinating. I mean, what were your parents' reaction when you're like, I don't want to be a doctor now. I'm going to go sing for the theater.
Oh my God. My dad who is a drummer, who's an artist, but who like kind of had to hang his dreams up and support a family and raise kids. He was very honest with me and he said, look, it's a really hard life. And I just want you to be comfortable. And I don't want you to have to struggle in the ways that I've had to struggle. So he was like, please don't do this. And so I would go back to school and I would tell my drama teacher, Miss Harris, my mom is kind of all about it. But my dad is like, he's really like pushing back on this idea. So she called them in for like a parent teacher conference. And my dad very recently with tears, as I told this story, he came to visit my partner and I here in LA. And he was telling my partner, Sam, the story. And he said, she brought me in there. And the first thing she said was, Mr. and Mrs. Salazar, the world has many, many doctors, but there's only one George Salazar. My dad was like, well, technically my name is George Salazar, but I get what you're saying. And, it took him a little bit throughout college and even for, my first couple years in New York. And again, this always came from like a place of love, right? Like it always came from wanting the best for his kids. He would kind of slyly say things like, if you want to go to med school or maybe you want to be a lawyer now, I'll pay for it, so, but now he's like, obviously he's gotten to like watch me on TV and he's gotten to see me on Broadway. And he's like, my parents are my biggest fans and biggest supporters. And they're immensely proud.
Well, as they should be. Can we take a little trip, like as they would say on Watch What Happens Live, in the vault? We want to go down history with George Salazar. I know that we're not going to, it's not that far, I promise.
Okay.
But the first major, when you moved to New York, which must have been intimidating and scary and exciting and all of the things, you booked this. You booked.
Oh my God.
You booked, was it the second tour, first tour of Spring Awakening?
Second tour. Leah Delaria, I love your work. The drama gays in high school used to call me Leah Delaria, and then I got to work with her 2 years ago, last year, and I told her this, and I showed her a picture, and she got a huge kick out of it. So we're twins.
She's a trip. I'm sure she's a trip. Well, was that the first time you had a professional kind of like?
Yeah, that was the first like big gig. I got to New York in 2008. I worked in a restaurant in Times Square called Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. And my first job out there was doing like a children's show. And that was hard because it was like, you know, a 7 a.m. call time. And then a couple of readings started happening. And then, yeah, that popped off in 2010. And I got to tour the country and a little bit of Canada doing like, you know, I mean, when I moved to New York, like I saw the off-Broadway Atlantic Theater Company production of Spring Awakening. I sat on stage and John Gallagher Jr. crawled out of a seat next to me. That's how they did the Ghost of Moritz off-Broadway. And I was so moved by that show. And of course, like that album is incredible. And it was a dream come true to get to, you know, it was completely I still probably, you know, sleeping on us for 6 months, but it was like, my God, it was the best experience. I got to see so much, and I got to do a show that had such a huge following, and you know, we got to do it in big cities, and then we also got to do it in small towns where like we had to like alter the show because of like, you know, religion and all this good stuff. So I got to experience kind of all of that, and it was incredible. We felt like rock stars.
Yes. Well, I think Broadway comes from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Robin DeJesus worked at Bubba Gump right before I got there.
See? If you want to make it in New York, everybody, send that application right in.
Don't find a nicer place.
Get a better place. And then you make your Broadway debut in this production of Godspell, which is quite the cast and quite the production of Godspell. What was it like when you got to step foot on the Broadway stage after being on tour and working? What is that moment like for you and your family?
I mean, my God. Okay, so like the Broadway debuts, there was me, Celise Henderson, Julia Madison, Jakina Calacango made her a Broadway debut in that. Anna Maria Perez-Tagle. I mean, there was such a great group of like newbies, and then we also had like Telly and Nick Blameyer and Lindsay Mendez, Uzo, you know, like who were kind of there as like our like, you know, big brothers, big sisters who were kind of teaching us the ropes. And like it was no, I mean, I remember that first day. I remember crying a lot. I'm a very emotional person, and so it, you know, I couldn't believe it, you know, like it was, I booked that a couple months after coming back from that tour. And you know, they always tell you like, don't compare yourselves to other people, and everyone's journey is different. And like, that couldn't be truer. Like, it's just like everyone's path is just completely different. And I really couldn't believe that it was happening. And it was an amazing 9 months on Broadway, doing a show where none of us got to leave stage ever. Crawling on our knees because it was in the round, and so like we always had to throw focus. And then now, all these years later, I actually just saw Telly last weekend. He came to see my play in LA, and we were reminiscing, and then also sharing like knee injury stories and how like we call them the Godspell knees. I play a 29-year-old in this play, Asian, and there's a line in the play where I say, I'm dating someone older than me, and I say like, I get it, you're older, but just because I'm young doesn't mean I have to be a fling. And I like bent my knee to like reposition myself on this couch, and it just sounded like this. And I was like, I swear I'm 29. These old knees, honey.
I hear you. They told me I have early arthritis in my knees. I never felt closer to 40. I'm be 40, and I'm like, oh no, it's the beginning of the end, George.
Wait, you look amazing.
Oh God, no, thank you. God bless you. I will be Halloween. I will be 40, and my knees feel like they're 86 years old.
I'm right there with you. I'll see you in the nursing home in 10 years.
Done. But we'll have a sing along and have a good time.
Yeah, we'll have a great time.
We alluded to this earlier with my New Jersey reference, but I was doing bad community theater in New Jersey at way too old in my life and stage in my life. And and George, I'm going to be honest, I'm not like a real big musical theater nerd. Like I don't listen to a lot of cast. I'm just was never that person.
Same.
And I got into
That's okay.
with the choreographer and he said, "Have you heard this song?" And I said, "No, I have not heard this song." And then it lived in my head. Like it lived in all of our theater stan heads forever. And we're talking, of course, about Be More Chill. And we're talking about the wild juggernaut and rocket ship that show was. What can you sum up that experience? Is there even words to sum it up?
Yeah. Left Turn. That's the perfect example of a left turn, right? So we did that production at Two River in Red Bank, New Jersey, and the Times came and they gave us a terrible review, as they love to do, and the show died. But we had incredible financial support from some really incredible people in New Jersey, and so we were able to record a cast album. And so that came out in October of 2015, months after the show had closed. We all like kind of mourned and accepted and moved on and were ready for whatever was, going to come next. And then 2 years later, I was doing a show called The Lightning Thief off Broadway at the Lortel Theater. There it is. And I started getting like mail, and that's never happened. And it would be like drawings of Michael, the character I played in Be More Chill. And I was like, what is going on? And it was like coming in. There was like a lot. And then my social media accounts went from being like, 2,000 followers to then like blowing up and, surpassing 200 grand, I think. And it was like, what's happening? And apparently someone on Tumblr shared a video of me doing Michael in the bathroom, and it just caught on like wildfire. And at this point now, I think I don't know the exact number, but we've last I checked, it was like over 150 million streams worldwide. I mean, crazy. And so that experience, A Left Turn, opened up so many other doors for me. And I mean, to this day, people come to me and meet me at the stage door and share their stories of how much the show and that song, means to them. And not just like, 14-year-old kids, like, like people my age and even older, and so it continues to be a really wild journey. And I'm just so grateful that it happened, like who would have known going out to Red Bank, New Jersey in 2015 and, doing a musical there that it would end up becoming what it became. It's one of those like just once in a lifetime things. And I'm just so grateful to the universe for making it what it was,
Well, I mean, you'll be walking around and people will be singing, "I want to dance with some," right at you the rest of your life, and much more to come. And then just so I don't keep you here lies love and Head Over Heels and Tick Tick Boom and all of the theater that you've gotten to do and be a part of is literally some of the best theater we've ever had on stages and around. And you do it on the East Coast, the West Coast. You do it everywhere and anywhere.
I'll do it wherever they'll have me.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been, this business is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And, it only gets harder the longer you've been in it, right? Because you're constantly hoping that there will be something to top that thing that happened all those years ago. And so you're constantly aiming and working towards more challenges. Like you want to be challenged. And I've just been so fortunate that like I experience these moments of like self-doubt even still, where I complain to my therapist. And one thing that we've really worked on together is like taking moments of retrospective, right? And it's like I'm so honored that I've gotten to be a part of so many wonderful things with so many wonderful people. And I learn and become a better actor with each scene partner that I've had, right? And it's what other career can you say that about? You know, where each gig, each year you become better and you continue to learn. It just, the learning never stops, right? And so yeah, I mean, it's been like an incredible journey, and I can't wait to keep going.
Yeah, it's only just begun. It's only just begun.
Yes.
So we've seen you on television. We've seen you in like Superstore and all of the, and I'm sure there's
Oh.
more television to come. And right now you're in a show, and then you're going to do another show. See, we're booked up.
I last year was a dry spell, honey. That's
Okay.
that's what I was that's when I was really like, can we have 4 therapy sessions a week? I need you.
I
Um
get it.
yeah, that happens. That's part of the business.
Yes.
And so no, I mean, being in LA in the midst of this writer strike, it's a very scary time for people, for actors here, actors in New York as well, but especially here. And I just am like, I was just telling my partner the other day, like, wow, like, the universe, like, you ask for it, and you get it. And at the time, you might be like, I know this was my situation. I was like, well, I'm excited to be doing theater, but like, I would love to be doing TV,
Right.
and specifically for insurance purposes.
Yes, I get it.
And and then the strike happened, and I just kind of stood there on stage during tech for this play that I'm working on, and I was like, um, I'm working, right? I'm working, I'm creating, I'm right now leading a play, which I've never done. And so, I feel, again, the headline for this should just, you should just have like grateful, just like written over
Oh,
my face for the entire interview. It's it's really, this year is turning out to be a really incredible um uh, step up in my career in terms of challenge. The play is called The Bottoming Process. We're running through June 12th. Oh, am I like screwing up your whole like
you're great. You're literally,
curriculum?
you're following along, and you don't even know.
It's an incredible play. It's a world premiere. It means so much to me because I usually play best friends. Like I tell the story of like Be More Chill, where Michael in the source material in the original book, it's like a really tall ginger with like a Jew fro, and I somehow snuck in and played that part, right? This is the first time in my career where I'm playing a character that is actually so eerily close to like my experience. So Milo, the character I play, is a 29-year-old gay Filipino writer. When have I ever had a chance to be a part of a thing that centers a gay Filipino story and character? And I'm playing opposite the wonderful Rick Cosnet, who people may know from like The Flash,
Yes.
Vampire Diaries. He's playing my older, even though we're not that far apart in age, but he's playing my older gay lover. And the play is so beautifully subversive. It begins as this like charming rom-com where these two people meet spontaneously, and then a beautiful relationship kind of blooms from that meeting. But then issues of kind of racial dynamic and power dynamic in a gay relationship, and who tops, who bottoms, what that means in terms of power, that begins to kind of create cracks in their relationship, and it gets pretty sad and devastating at the end. But as a musical theater actor, and I've been saying this a lot recently, like this, I was lucky to get into whatever door I can get into when I started, and that door happened to be musical theater. It's the hardest art form. It's the hardest art form. Yet people have convinced themselves that like musical theater actors can't do plays. Musical theater actors can't be on TV. Everything's too big. They're too big. They're too big. The acting's too big. Our wonderful director Rodney Toe and our incredible playwright Nicholas Pilapil and I Am a Theater, which is a really wonderful theater company here in LA, they thought of me to play this part, and took this risk, having me lead this company in this play, and it's been the most incredible experience of my career. And it's not on a Broadway stage, you know, like it's in a 99 seat theater, but the work I'm doing is challenging me every day, and I'm learning more and discovering more, and it's super exciting, and you know, we've got a couple more weekends left of it, and then I get to go do a new Joe Iconis musical.
Yes, so come on, George, let's go.
Okay, let's go. So that's called the Untitled Unauthorized Hunter S. Thompson musical. I've been a part of the development of this piece for about 9 years now. They've been, La Jolla Playhouse is producing and presenting this world premiere. They've been giving it a lot of love and very careful attention to make sure it's right. And Joe has written what I believe to be his masterpiece. I think it's his Sunday in the Park with George. It's an ode to artists, the sacrifices that we make for our art, legacy, what do we leave behind, how, you know, the important role that plays in the decisions that we make as artists, how our art impacts our personal life. I mean, there's politics in here. Richard Nixon is like the villain of the play. There are eerie kind of mirrors and parallels to what's happening today with Donald Trump and that whole nightmare. And so it's a very layered and deep and rich musical, set to music that's inspired by the 60s and the 70s. And it's I'm so excited to get down there and finally do it for people.
Yes.
You know, it's been living in this incubator for 9 years.
9 years. That's what people think theater happens quick. I was at La Jolla last year to see Lempicka, and you need to go to La Jolla. If you're in that area, it's such a beautiful playhouse with the most beautiful work. Many works created there that have gone on to win many awards, such as this. And I'm so excited for all that's to come. I mean, like I said, you've only just, and you're a sweetheart. You're just the sweet, like you could just a sweetheart. When you made a choice at some point in your life, and I know I took up enough of your time, but one more question, especially that is pride. When you made a point in your life, you play lots of characters, you've played diverse characters and types, but you made a point to make your life public, especially sexuality and your personal life. In these times that we're living in, and you know what's going on in the world, why was that something that was important? Was that ever something that scared you, or did you think about keeping it more to yourself?
Yeah, my father, being kind of an old-fashioned macho Latino guy, was really slow on the uptake on that end, and I was outed by a family member to him, and that really put a strain on our relationship. We're great now. He loves my partner. It, like, you know, when I see my dad see him and my dad hugs him and tells him he loves him, it makes me, I mean, I feel like the luckiest person in the world, because there are so many other people who never get to experience that from a parent who maybe at first was not willing to listen.
Yeah.
But once we had our initial conversation, I felt a massive weight lifted off of my shoulders. And my mother, who is a sweetheart, she kept my sexuality a secret from my dad for like 10 years. And that was a huge weight lifted off her shoulders, you know? And so, so once that was out in the open, I made it a point to embrace it, share it. And also, like, you know, as a gay brown person in this industry who has been given a platform, it's important for me to inspire young people to live authentically. We don't experience life at its fullest until we really embrace who we are. And I think we're queer people are so lucky and blessed to be queer, and so I wear it as a badge of honor, especially in these like really scary times. And I fight for specifically my trans siblings, and just wanting them to know that I have their backs, and I will continue to do everything that I can do, given where I'm at, to amplify and to fight for them. There's I don't know, I just think that there's an enlightenment that we as queer people possess, and it's a beautiful thing. And I want to continue to be that for the community, but I also want to fight for our stories to be told on stages and on television and on movie screens, because the more we're given voice, the more our humanity is normalized.
Yes.
And then the less, because people are scared of what they don't know.
Right.
And so if you live in a very protected little pocket of the world, and you don't know a single trans person, you have no concept of what their life is like, who they are as beautiful people, And so the more that we can fight to get these stories made, told, presented, and shared, the sooner we can all exist as human beings, right?
Yes.
The more we can just kind of share space with each other and hold each other up, instead of constantly trying to strip away people's rights or fight or harm. Life's too short, man. Life is too short, and the only thing that makes it worth living is just being a good human being and listening to other people. That's it.
I love George Salazar. I'm done. That's it. You won. I'm done. I'm a puddle. Your heart is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I know that there are many theater kids and queer kids and kids who have not felt accepted, who have used your work and used your output and your representation, and it means so much, of all ages. And I know that the work that's to come in the future is going to just amplify all of that even more. I wish you only the best, like all good juju, all your way.
And I'm throwing it right back at you.
And I can't wait for you to be back in New York, or I'll sneak out to the West Coast and see your shows, your productions, your concerts, your something, because you are a good time. You put out some great work, and we're here for it.
Thank you.
Everyone, follow George on IG so that you can keep up to date with all of the things that are going on. If you're going to go to La Jolla, go to the show in LA, see what's next on the horizon, and we'll be cheering you on every step.
Thank you, Robert.
So appreciate you. Thank you for being here. There you have it. I'm eating yogurt. Weren't they great? Christine says George Salazar has a fascinating journey to a successful career. Much success to him. Thank you for joining me. Next week, Genial Ferenzi from Mean Girls will be here, plus a whole bunch of surprises. We were going to have the Stroll creator and director on, but this show ran long, so we're going to put that on as a special edition for the Roundtable this weekend. You can watch it on HBO. It's like, we apologize to Matt Damon for we run out of time. And we have a bonus episode that's coming out on Thursday. Next week's our last Pride episode. I have a lot of taped interviews to get out by the end of the month. You're going to be sick of me. So make sure you are commenting, like, and subscribe and share and click the notification button so you don't miss any of these events. Any of them when we put them up. We have great shows. We have live shows for you all summer long. He is a beautiful human. George Salazar is a beautiful person. We have shows for you live all summer long. We're not going anywhere. You don't let me. And they don't let me, because somehow I've been lucky enough to be a part of this platform, and that's thanks to you. And tomorrow, I will be at the Rock and Roll Man opening, and then Thursday, I'll be at the opening of Once Upon a One More Time, and you can expect all that content, plus all the content from the Tribeca Film Festival, plus more and more and more and more and more. And I promise you, Robbie Rozelle and me, have a good one. The best is yet to come. Hang in there. Happy Pride. Love one another. Support one another. Let's be more alike than we are different, and just embrace and love the heck out of one another. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Bye, everyone.
54 Below. This is Broadway's living room, dining room, something like that. And we are, and when we're here, I thought, who do I know that is the show tune expert, the Encyclopedia Britannica of the show tunes? And I came out late in my life. I came out in my 30s, so I needed some help. So I had like the elder gaze. He's gonna be so mad that I. Well, if that got that reaction, that wasn't him. Let's take about some. Shit. Cabaret superstar, the man behind the music of Broadway records, Robbie Rozelle is here. A very young homosexual man. And very handsome. Oh, shit.
Well, thanks for getting me out of the house.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First of all, I just want to say you're killing it. You are running around the stage like a pre-rehab John Mulaney.
Thank you. That's a compliment.
It's going great. I did say you need some show tunes.
You did?
Yeah, because this, upstairs is a Broadway theater.
Yes, it is.
Like, they could crash down on us and
Nathan Lane may land right on top of you.
I just hit him. Great, right? But, so as a trained actor, thank you. I thought about the song that we were going to do, and I looked at it, and I remember, most people know this song because Whitney Houston sang it with her mother.
That's how I know it.
Which is weird when you listen to these fucking lyrics, because is she singing about her dad? Unclear. Keep that in the back of your fucking mind.
Well, we're from Jersey. Life is complicated. Jersey.
True.
We're complicated.
But, it needed emotion and intention underneath it, because, again, as a trained actor, thank you. I went to TKTS. That was the only college I went to. Anyway, I was like, who is this about? And then I realized it's about Yaz.
It is. See,
You stole my music director and my band.
Look, listen, don't leave your men around me, Robbie, because... yes. Ask Puff Daddy, as they say. Don't sleep on me. I know you don't know about that. You know Camelot. That's fine.
I'm so sorry. If it was written after 1964, I've never heard it.
Yaz is my music director, and Yaz...
So sorry. Thank you. Put a pin in that. Yaz is actually my music director.
See, Yaz is my music director.
Huh.
And
who brought Yaz to you?
But who kept Yaz, Robbie? Who kept him?
Play the song.
Nothing is so good, it lasts eternally. Perfect situations must go wrong, but this has never yet prevented me from wanting far too much for far too long. Looking back, I could have played it differently. One, a few more moments, who can tell? But it took time to understand the the man. Now at least I know him well. Wasn't it good? Wasn't it fine? Isn't it madness? He won't be mine. But in the end, he needs a little bit more than before. Security,
His fantasy and freedom.
I know him so well.
Listen, no one in your life is with you constantly.
You got that right.
No one is completely on your side. And though I'd move my world to be with him, still the gap between us is too wide.
Looking back, I could have played it differently. Learned about the man before I fell.
I was just a little careless,
But I was ever so much younger then. Now at least I know him well. Wasn't it good? Wasn't it fine? Isn't it madness? He can't be mine. Didn't I know how it would go if I knew from the start? Why am I falling apart? He won't be mine, but in the end, he needs a little bit more than before. He needs
He
security.
needs his fantasy and freedom.
I know him so well.